Welcome. It's Jazz. I have been messing around with my hair, half in mind to shave it. But I've always wanted my hair to be long, and it is. It is long, but it falls out all of the time. So I just have these bags of my old locks of hair, which I have a project of sewing them back in. Some of you have commented on some of the ones that I already sewed back in, barely. It's a lot more difficult because I don't have anyone else helping me. But I wanted to, record a quick video just saying good afternoon and apologizing for being the brat that I am. It's hard for me to, as a hybrid person, as a person who can see the truth of what we're doing here, but understand the reasons behind it. I have the worst times. And people are constantly asking me how they can help or what they can do or what it is that I need. And I tell them all types of things. I tell them people because that's accurate. I tell them that I need an entire community because that's accurate. I tell them that I need help with cleaning up my house because that's accurate. The lists of things that I have to try and take care of each day, it's just like the list of things you have to take care of each day. It's long, ever growing, expanding. You have help with setting your priorities and figuring out how you're going to manage the resources that you have and distributing them to take care of the things that you're going to need for the next few days, etc. But it's the 30th and we are going into a new year. And with that comes a lot of year-end things, discounts on certain things. But also people are scrambling because they don't have access to any of the resources that they are giving away. I've been caught inside of the catch-22 of life recently. And the real kicker in all of this, in the underlying stories of rescue and healing and learning to be at peace with yourself and your life and the decisions that you're going to make, because you have to make them. It's also a huge, important part of it. I don't understand what our issue is with possession and agency. We don't get it. I've been accused of being a stalker. I've been accused of victim blaming, and I hate the word victim blaming just for the very fact that it reasserts the very nature of the thing. So it has reminded me of a thing that happened actually 16 years ago. There's a class that I took in school, in college, the 1 year of college, that put me into a world of debt as an emancipated youth because I had to fight giving away information about my parents who weren't going to be able to help me with anything. They wanted all of this information, and there were levels of privacy and then just things I didn't know. And there was a lot of pressure on me to try and reconnect with my dad in order to get information about his finances. That is so rude. To force a relationship onto a person just under the premise of needing their financials so that you can go and do something that, I don't know, why they haven't ever been able to do it, or maybe they want it to, who knows? It is the background information, it's the tiny details, it's the little bitty oopsies, and the people that we're thinking of when we're going after a thing that we want. Our intentions are multifaceted, and they're all over the place. They're chaotic. They're not organized. We intend not to harm people, and then we go around harming everyone we see. It's literally how we all operate, almost. And I don't know how to, and I know it's not my responsibility to try and open the eyes of people who are sitting here literally stabbing themselves and every single person that they love around them with this closed, gendered, exclusive language and way of living. That's the thing that gets me, is that I have some of the wealthiest friends. I have some of the most beautifully compassionate and helpful individuals in my life. I've had friends that didn't kill flies when they were about to die, for just, why kill it when you could just let it go somewhere else and mind its own business. It's not harming you. I've had friends that have opened up their houses to others for extended periods of time because they didn't have the family home basement to go crying and healing themselves in. I am so grateful for all of the help that has been extended to me, but every single time there is this lack of true agency. And it's so confusing because I get it. I get that agency is one of the most difficult things. Agency is will. Agency is actual freedom. Because I can, yes, as all the parables and the stories that we have been taught, teach a person everything about me. And they're never going to understand why I don't like something a certain way. It's not their feelings. But the moment that I lie about it, the moment that I pretend that it is something that I enjoy, or maybe even just act like I know better, or that I have some sense of authority over the other person that I'm discussing this thing with, the moment that we disconnect from each other, everyone knows it. They're around, they see it, they feel it, they're affected by it. We're not working together. Everyone knows when we're not working together. It's easy to spot people who work at offices where their whole family works there that have a disagreement about something, become fractured and unable to really work in the same way that they used to. Once there is some sense of dishonesty there, that trust is broken, and we never go back to try and fix it as soon as we can. We just wait. and pretend like somehow magically something's going to happen that's going to change the outcome of the thing it's already happened. You can't keep trying to plug in a cord that has been cut. You can, yeah, all day long. It's not gonna do anything for you. You're just going to be stuck, possibly exposing yourself to electricity. Don't do that. But agency is a difficult thing to wield as a power, because agency is realizing what it is that you have, that you can give as a renewable, sustainable, very important resource from within yourself. You have to be able to create the gifts that you give to other people. You can't constantly be relying on other people for the motivation and the confidence to be yourself. But when you are being yourself and you're still being isolated and you're still struggling after years and years and years of you saying the same types of things to people, you get really tired. You get really exhausted, because it is as if every single thing that you've ever created, all of the things that you've ever done for the people that you love, that they don't see. They don't see it. They don't get it. They're never going to. They don't know. You didn't tell them. We keep doing these things on others' behalf, like that's going to fix some problem. It's not fixing anything. It's making more. Because now you have to go and explain yourself and why you thought you had the audacity to try and fix another person's problem. And you still get in trouble from both sides of the thing. That's what happens to me all the time. I am a fence. I am a slash. I am a decision, a nightmare waiting to happen. Yes, sometimes I really am. Because I am adamant about my pursuit of the things that I want. It's true. I want things. I don't need them. But there are things that I do need. I need to take care of my body, or else I'm going to die. I need to socialize. Otherwise, I'm going to be depressed and lonely and not happy. I need community projects that keep me engaged and interested in leaving my house. Otherwise, why? For what reason would I go anywhere? And the moment that I leave, I start losing money. I start losing patience. I start losing levels of respect depending on who you are and what you feel about me. If you think I should be at home, you are taxing me the moment that you see me out in public. You're like, oh, why is that person out? They should be at home studying. They should be doing this. That's not nice. That's rude. Why do you say that? What is your part to play in it? Do you know what it is that I'm doing there? Have you thought to ask? What is it that scares us so much about the possibility that people can be trustworthy, that they would be honest to a fault? We know most of the time when we're lying. Just like we know when we text one person who lives in a house and another person texts you back, that must mean that they're talking. At least somewhere, in some form. But that's not fair, and that's not necessarily the case. I mean, what if you aren't there What if you aren't paying attention? What if you're drunk that day? What if somehow you woke up and you just weren't feeling it? These are all things that are going to play a factor into our lives and the decisions that we make. And the thing that we have to remember to do is to be honest and true to ourselves, but also be honest and true to what it is that we are trying to do. Because a lot of us are trying to form bonds and actually find family. And that's a very, very difficult thing to do, especially when you're someone like me who's a transplant and a hybrid and just like all of these other things that separate and isolate me. Poverty is isolation. Racism, patriarchal society is isolating. It makes us all believe that we are incapable of living with transparency with each other because someone's going to take away my agency. They're going to take away my ability to do what I want to do with my life. You give that away to people, but you don't offer it the way that you think you do. You say, here, take this. I don't want it anymore. Instead of, take this. I think that you could use it better than me. We say, I don't have time to help my family out because every time that I try, they just yell at me. Just got a text message, so that's a thing. We think that our parents should call us more, but then we're upset when we find out that they have actually been trying to call us, but our phone is off sometimes, so they just don't leave a message. It's a double standard. We're constantly holding each other up to different double standards in our relationships. And we have relationships with literally everything. And it is very hard to find stability inside of a relationship the moment that you include any other sentient thing. That is your pet, your lovers, your boss, your co-workers, your sister, unborn children. The community creates things together. And we are experiencing the worst ever takeover and invasion of our hopes and dreams. But some of us have never had such stringent calculations on how we get to the things that we want in our lives. Because the things that we want in our lives are already there. They are existing and living with people, finding out more about individuals or peculiarities, and just living and hearing about how life is led. Because that's the way that you get better at a thing, right? The only way you get better at living is to do it. And we are all so dang worried about whether or not we're going to be able to live in the future that we're stuck not doing it. And I can't do that easily. Because I know that the love of my life was taken away from me in a second, and that my best friend of a lifetime and brother got taken away from me in a second, and that my parents got taken away from me, and that I don't want anyone else to endure that. And I don't want to continue creating two victims by continuing to blame everyone else for problems that I am also complicit and participating in. So what do? Do you step aside and let all of the hate and the crime and violence go on and pretend like you can't see, or do you do something? Well, you're always going to do something. That's the thing. But it's your choice what it is. So you can choose. Ooh, you can still hang out like this. Your options. I like these like reflections from the lights. Oh. How much fun can I have? Oh. You know, it's there. It's there. Is it? Yeah. There we go. That's a fitting end to this, right? Okay. Love you. I'm gonna go wash my dishes.